Bobby Blackburn is. That's right, a South African crocodile. I love lizards so much, I wear crop teeth for my own. Even with the crazy reptile show, eat me 3 times. My missus got a little frightened first when I went to kiss her, but she digs my croc choppers now, so I wear them all the time. How about you, Bobby? Like a little win for old Uncle Crocodile? How's it, mate? Bobby Blackburn here. That's right, a South African crocodile. I love lizards so much, I wear crop teeth for my own. Even with a crazy reptile show, eat me 3 times. My missus got a little frightened first when I went to kiss her, but she digs my crop choppers now, so I wear them all the time. How about you, Bobby? Like a little win for old Uncle Crocodile?
Well, it looks like dinner's about to come up. Gotta go! There should be a law against keeping immortal stuffed in legs. Speaking of laws, the earliest known example of a public set of laws was the Code of Hammurabi, which you might remember for an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Punishments dealt out by these 282 laws range from paying fines with corn or money to dismemberments. Death. One penalty requires the lawbreaker to be thrown into water. The most complete set of laws was discovered carved on an 8-foot-tall rock. Lugging that around would be a pain in the back. Oh, speaking of a pain, don't put me back! Ta-da! That's a pretty tall ladder to climb. Speaking of ladders, did you see the stretching ladder up above me? You know, in the Middle Ages, people were punished by being stretched on this ladder until their limbs popped out of their sockets. You think I'm being punished by being stuck in a bottle for all eternity? You don't know the half of it. No! Oh, there should be a law against keeping immortals stuffed in lamps. Speaking of laws, the earliest known example of a public set of laws was the Code of Hammurabi, which you might remember for an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Punishments dealt out by these 282 laws range from paying fines with corn or money to dismemberments and death. One penalty requires a lawbreaker to be thrown into water. The most complete set of laws was discovered carved on an 8-foot-tall rock. Lugging that around would be a pain in the back. Oh, speaking of a pain, don't put me back!
placed into boiling oil and water where it will begin to shrink. Magic rites are chanted as the head boils. Wooden pegs are used to keep the lips closed and the eyes are sewn shut.
Oh my
This
God.
was done to keep the enemy's soul trapped inside.
Es parte de eso.
Hot
Oh,
stones
mami, ¿te
and
acuerdas
sand
de
help
este?
shrink
¿Con
the
este
head even
fueron?
further.
Mami, ¿te acuerdas cuando yo vi esto en un video?
Mouth pegs are removed and
También
replaced
eso lo
with
viste.
long
Oh, sí.
strings. Exotic bird feathers are added as earrings and headdresses. The finished shrunken head is placed near a fire to harden. The shrinking of heads was a humiliating thing to do to an enemy. It robbed them of a normal rebirth into the next life. Each shrunken head is a source of pride for the young.
For hundreds of years, the Shuar have lived deep in the Amazon jungle. When they were discovered, they were wearing what appears to be miniature heads. They called them Sansa. The rest of the world called them shrunken heads. I have traveled to over 200 countries, but in South America I was introduced to something both deeply disturbing and fascinating. A friend told me of a German scientist who ventured into the land of the Shuar in hopes of learning their secrets. 6 months later, a shrunken head with a red beard and light hair was offered for sale. The shrinking of human heads is an ancient rite with the Shuar tribe and one which is not vanished.
Mira, ¿dónde está? Mira.
No sé, escuché su historia.
¿O quieres tomar?
Oh, dame.
For the Shuar, the head was where the soul lied. Once they possessed it, they inherited all of their enemy's powers. After an enemy was killed, they would cut off the head and take back the head. The head shrinking process began by separating the hair and skin from the skull. The head is then placed in boiling oil and water where it will begin to shrink. Magic rites are chanted as they head away. Wooden pegs are used to keep the lips closed and the eyes are sewn shut. This was done to keep the enemy's soul trapped inside the head. Hot stones and sand help shrink the head even further. The mouth pegs are removed and replaced with long strings. Exotic bird feathers are added as earrings and headdresses. The finished shrunken head is placed near a fire to harden. The shrinking of heads was a humiliating thing to do to an enemy. It robbed them of normal rebirth in the next life. Each shrunken head is a source of pride.
For hundreds of years, the Shuar have lived deep in the Amazon jungle. When they were discovered, they were wearing what appears to be miniature heads. They called them Sansa. The rest of the world called them shrunken heads. I have traveled to over 200 countries, but in South America I was introduced to something both deeply disturbing and fascinating. A friend told me of a German scientist who ventured into the land of the Shuar in hopes of learning their secrets. 6 months later, a shrunken head with a red beard and light hair was offered for sale. The shrinking of human heads is an ancient rite with the Shuar tribe and one which is not vanished.
For the Shuar, the head was where the soul lied. And once they possessed it, they inherited all of their enemy's powers.
In Russia, we have to wear this.
After an enemy was killed,
Sorry.
ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਵੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਹਾਵੀ
I know. Well, it's the
size was now a 37 AA. And his height had reached a massive 8 feet 11 inches. He was now the tallest man in the world. But his ever-growing frame, he soon lost some feeling in his legs and feet from the braces he used for walking. Blister on his foot, which led to an infection. Robert didn't survive the infection and died at the age of 22. There have been many extraordinarily tall people, but none as tall as Robert Wadley. In both 1926 and 1929, Ripley featured Robert Wadley. It is, believe it or not, cartoon. Straight was born, kept growing and growing. Each was overlapped with a pituitary gland. But the rest of his brothers and sisters were normal size. He was asked his friends of the same age in both height and weight. At 260 pounds, 7 foot 3 inches, towers over other kids, and was even a all-star player. He was already taller than his father, and he was strong enough to carry him up the hill. And at age 75 years, Ripley started showing up in the media more and more. He soon accepted a promotional tour with the